Hello, hello, hello. Hey guys, welcome on in. Merry Christmas Eve to ya. Look at that. We've got some people in the chat. Wasn't sure if we'd be on or not. I'm in a mess of a room, so I'm just going to leave my camera off for tonight because I've got clothes and everything else around me. But it's good to see everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a great Christmas Eve. Hopefully, everybody's ready for Santa. Hey, Holly. Hey, Cheryl. I saw you guys were up here in the chat. Doodlebug's here. Mary Ann, or Mary Beth. We even have a Mary Ann? Yeah, we do have a Mary Ann. Doodlebug again. There's Steve. He's here. Hello, Titan fam. Happy holidays. Happy holidays, Steve. Hey, Carolina Moon. Hey, Niners girl. Hey, everybody. Welcome on in. Cheryl's here. You can't believe it's Christmas? Me neither, Cheryl. This year's gone by fast. This whole year's gone by fast. Merry Christmas, Ashley. Tell Boo Thing too. Merry Christmas. Christmas bahumbug. I'd rather watch true crime. Me too. We could have used you too, law offices of Andrew Myers. Who I think that was last night. I was screaming, "Where's a lawyer? We need an attorney." Hey, Misty. Hey, Fred. Hey, Jesus loves me. Hey, guys. Welcome on in. Hey, Catherine. Warflare. Melanie. Crystal. I saw Crystal too. Yeah, look at that. I love it. I'm loving all the faces. I'm loving all the people. Mary and Ivy and everybody's in here. All right. If you're listening, hey, Alicia, if you're listening to us, while you're wrapping gifts, Merry Christmas. Hopefully you're getting everything, nice and, packed away, and the gifts are wrapped and they're getting into the vehicle because you're going somewhere tomorrow to be unwrapping those. Just became a couch potato. I love that. I love that. Me too. I'm in the chair right now, but I've been a couch potato, it feels like. We're redoing our place. So Vincent's been working extremely hard. Oh yeah, Worry Ivy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should. I've been really interested about that stuff myself. I thought about it, Ivy. She said, Tanya, are you going to do a special live to cover the anniversary when BK was arrested? That will be interesting. I thought about doing it as like a end of the year party of sorts. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I thought I want to do something because it's, the day before we ring in the new year. So I thought it would be, of course we'll do something, but I didn't know exactly what we will do. I thought maybe even we could watch him whenever he was like flying over, just like, it's just like Santa Claus. When Santa Claus is on the radar, they're tracking Santa. It was like that was us with Brian Koberger. You're working today and tomorrow, 9 a.m. till midnight, Ivy? Oh my Lord, that's too much work. That's too much. Oh no, it's not. It's actually not even that bad. It's not that bad, but I look terrible. That's more the reason. I actually have the clothes over to one side of the room, and they're like, they're my boutique clothes. So it doesn't look too bad. But yeah, I promise I'm normal like all of you guys. And you'll see it too, because I have some pictures and videos coming of the whole transformation over there. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Albeam. Hey, Mike. Welcome in, Roseanne. Hey, everyone's coming in. If I missed you, scream at me. Hey, Deb. Don't scream at me yet. Let me double check. Hey, Nina. Like, don't yell yet. And Amanda. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, hey, Cindy. Sometimes I feel like I smile into the camera, even though I'm not on camera. And I just assume that you guys know, like, I'm saying hi. So if I ever do that when you come in, just know that that's me saying hi to you. When you see somebody at the store or you see someone you like smile at them as you're approaching them. I feel like that's what I'm kind of doing. Soulshine said, hi, everyone. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I can't believe it. I can't believe it's Christmas either. And it happened like I told you guys it would. My brother's wife. So my brother didn't even write me this year. My brother's wife wrote me yesterday. And I was just like, are you guys kidding? So I was like, no, I didn't say anything. I was like, I'll just let them know tomorrow because today we were so busy with stuff. But I'm just like, are you guys, does your family do that to you? Do they call you last minute? Or is it a thing where it's Christmas every year and I should just be like expected to be there? Because it's either one. I know I'm probably in the wrong here, but I feel like if we don't see each other the rest of the year, why see each other just for Christmas? So I'm trying to put my foot down right now. This year has flown by. Ooh, I have a Christmas dirty joke. Misty said, we want to hear it. All the time, Catherine said, okay, I'm not the only one. And I know that I know Christmas is always same day every year. But if you don't make time for those people outside of that one day a year, then it doesn't feel as special. Do you know what I mean? And so I'd rather just spend it like actually what I'm doing. I love it. I love that what I'm doing. Like I love that I'm here with you guys tonight. And tomorrow we are going to be just getting everything back in its spot and just renovating, and it's gonna be nice. So okay, her joke is, why was the snowman happy? Okay, why? We want to know. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's like, man. And I would come to the kids' games. I'll drive to them. I would drive the hour and a half to them. No, you don't have to come here. I know there's 6 of you or 10 of you all together or something. I would never dream of that. I will come there. Just invite me. It's like we've got kids playing sports. We've got kids in college. We've got kids getting married, having babies. I don't know. It's just very weird. And I'm not like, I don't want you guys to think I'm like sad or anything. So, because I'm quite the opposite. I mean, I love my family so much, but I'm cool with staying home and relaxing and just not having to, worry about anything. Because he saw a snowblower. Oh my gosh, Misty. I was waiting on the rest of it. That's funny. Bought myself no presents. See, Nina, I bought myself some presents though. That's what I did. I bought myself some pillows and a couple throw blankets. And I was like, yes. I was like, because they were just for the bed and for our couch when we're getting a new couch and stuff. So that's what we did. We just, I'd rather stay home. Yeah, home is a little safer these days. It is Pippi Longstocking. Yeah, absolutely. Merry Christmas to you. It really is. It's scary out there. I was seeing like on Twitter, people were getting in fights in parking lots and just like in stores. And I ain't got that in me. I mean, I used to work retail, but I don't think I have it in me to actually shop it. You guys are the real heroes there. Trying going out and shopping, and that's like a nightmare. At least when you work in retail, you get there early enough before all the parking spots get taken. Hey Cheryl, how many steps did you do today? She's going to tell us. She's going to know. You're going to have to get your steps, really high because you got that watch. And you're going to check all the time because I do that with my watch, Cheryl. I check my steps all the time. Cindy said, I got a check from my folks. They feel it's easier to just give checks to us. That's awesome. That is awesome. Do they actually give you a check? Because I didn't know if people still wrote checks anymore. My mom would. If she was still around, she would definitely. Oh, I do too, Doodlebug. I'm just trying to go to Target to get my, daily essentials that I don't need. Like a lot of stuff I didn't need. But daily essentials. And all these people are like everywhere. And I'm like, come on, Target shoppers. I'm away. Walmart shopping at 3 a.m. Yeah, see, I didn't even know that Walmart wasn't open 24 hours until recently. Elia's kids afraid of their own shadows. That's why they let BK go to PA and have real police do the break-in. Yeah, maybe. Do I send a check back from you? Maybe I should. Can we reroute that somehow? That'd be kind of. You got a check too, Jana Banana? Oh, I love it. I love the fact that people still write checks. I love the fact that people do. I mean, I love that. I can't write. I mean, I could write a check, but it wouldn't be legible. My handwriting is the worst. Mostly shop online. I love shopping online. It's like one of my favorite things to do, actually. Oh, speaking of which, hold on a second. Let me open the Target cart. Yeah, speaking of Target, I need to get some storage bins for my bulbs, my Christmas bulbs. I have a checkbook. I have one for my store. They, I don't even know what bank it's through. That's sad because I'll never write a check, but they sent me so many. I'm like, dang, they must have thought I had a lot of money or something going on over here because they sent me like hundreds of books of checks. They're not even like, it's not even where you like have to change out the book. They actually sent the book with it, with each like pack. and I have like 100 of them. And I'm like, I'll never use these. Do they still clean the stores the way they did during COVID? Oh, that's a good question to ask. I know when I worked in retail, it was during 2020, 2021 was my last year, the beginning of 2021, and my store was so clean. It was a brand new store, so that helped. And people actually said they felt safe shopping in my store. So that made me feel really good. Like they felt safe during COVID when we were masked up and everything. They were like, we feel like we can come in here and you are like, have us spaced out. We're not being shoved anywhere. It's the flow was good. So that made me feel good. Oh, you open Christmas presents tonight, Mary Beth? Does anyone else do that? We used to open one gift on Christmas Eve and it was pajamas. Always pajamas. My mom had that set out so that we could take pictures in them in the next morning. She was she was smart. I'll give you that. Give her that. She was very smart. She was very, very smart. Hey, Aries. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I used to leave a $20 bill placed around my grandmother's home when I left. That's so funny. My grandma would love that. She would just thought it was her own money though. She'd be like, "Oh, I left $20 here." That's fun. Have you guys done like the white elephant exchange? Which I'm sure we will go to Idaho. I promise you. I'm like, I should have just done a stream on Christmas too. But I mean, like a stream about Christmas, but we'll do one tomorrow. But yeah, I don't even know what I was saying, but because I read Elisa's Elisa's comment. She said I did Christmas last night. Oh, that's so nice. See, yeah, so my mom always had us do the pajama thing. That was our thing growing up. Until we got a little bit older and we caught on. And we were like, wait a minute. This gift has like you could tell it was a bend or something in the fold that she would do. She would do like a certain bend, like a different fold, so she would remember what gift. And one year she forgot completely what gift it was, and it was really nice because we got to open up like 3 or 4 gifts till she figured it out. Dude, a bug's like, not till tomorrow now. Oh, I was gonna say the white elephant thing. That's what I was saying. The white elephant like game where you wrap a gift. Now I don't know if that would be fun or not. I would be kind of nervous about that. Like I guess it's a certain amount. I don't know. I think it would be good for large families. I think it'd be good for my family. Cause then, you know, um, you only have to worry about one gift. That would be cool. That'd be real cool. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys have big families, but I've for not having my mom or dad or any of my immediate relatives other than my brother and his wife, I sure have one heck of a family. They've like quadrupled. And I love that. Never again will I do a Christmas exchange shit thing. Exchange thing I got shit on. Oh yeah, it happens every time, Ashley. That's Vincent at his work parties. We didn't go this year, but we go every year, like the last 5 years. We didn't for this year. For some reason, we didn't go this year, but they do that. They'll do like an exchange, and then Vincent will always end up with like the worst gift. And I'm like, Vincent, you let people walk all over you. You're out next year. Oh, maybe that's why we didn't go. Because I told him he was out this year. I was like, I'm playing the game this year, buddy. Last year it was like name who, like, so when you walked in, everybody got somebody like biblical or like, I think it was just biblical or like Christmassy or whatever from like, on them, like on their back. And you had to like ask them questions and they had to guess who they were. Vincent got the Virgin Mary. And as soon as they put that on him, I said, oh, we ain't gonna win this year, guys. I said, just, we're out. He was like the third person to get it. I was like, how did you do that? He did it though. I was like, I would have never got it, to be truthful. Hey, Fred. Other than a trip to all Walgreens and mail a bill, I have been alone. Oh, other than my son stopping by for an hour today. No plans tomorrow. Fred, the same with me. I've been with the animals all day. Vincent's been in the hallway and in the other room. I mean, that's fine that he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing, but we're here. You can hang with us. If you need anything, you let us know. Yeah, you let us know and we'll be there. Oh, is it Ivy Lee? I don't think I'm saying that right. Is it Ivy Lease? I know I'm saying it wrong, Ivy. I know I am. Ivy Leasey? Either way, it's beautiful, but now I don't know how to say it. Now I'm going to be like, okay, how do we do it? Hey, Melody. Merry Christmas. Yeah. I think that's a part of I think it's part of life, that's it's the sucky part about it. Because I have Vincent. Thankfully I have him, but I miss my mom and my dad every Christmas. I really do. Oh, you're looking for a new dog? Oh, Fred. Oh, you have to let us know about that. And if I see any, let me know what kind of breed you're looking for. Because I could look at dogs all day. I could shop for a dog all day, Fred. Now that's something that now you're talking Tanya language there. Especially if it's like, just any dog that's not a boxer pit or a Weimaraner, because those are all crazy dogs. That's what I have. I'm just kidding. They're not too bad. They're the best. Fred, if you're looking for a dog, though, in all seriousness, that will really, really, really need you, like every second that your eyes are awake and that dog only sleeps when you're asleep, get a Weimaraner. If you can handle a big dog, because they are the best. They really are. And pets are the best doodlebugs, right? I know mine are supposed to be emotional support dogs, but they're not really, Shelter rescue. I did rescue, or actually shelter. And then our Weimaraner we bought her from the Amish. You have COVID? Oh no. Oh, Melody, your husband. I'm so sorry. That's so fresh. Oh, that's so soon. I'm so sorry to hear about that. Hey, Sleuthy, Merry Christmas. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that, Melody. So I figured, well, we can just hang out for another few minutes before we get to the live. If anyone yell in the chat and we'll get right to it. But I'll read your guys' chats for a couple more minutes. Yours is a rescue too, Mike? My father who named me didn't even know how to say it. He didn't even, oh man, he did not. So, is it Spanish? Oh, if it's anything with like the rolling, is it rolling of the R's or something? I can't do that. I envy people that can speak any language, but Spanish is so. I took 2 years of French. I can't comprehend how to even speak the language. It's so beautiful. Am I reading the comments right? I think oh, okay. Oh no, I thought okay, never mind. I did read it wrong. Okay, I saw Ashley's second comment. I saw this. My basset hound is my most beautiful baby ever. And then I see, Elise's comment. Why do you say that about your boo thing? And I'm like, what? Elisa, Ashley. I didn't know what was going on, but I read the message wrong. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've got her on the Christmases. We're going to make sure we get her as many as we can get her. Hey, Joe looking. Oh, so you want a dog a little older? Oh, you have a little Yorkie. Oh, those are so fun. I can't believe you have COVID. That's so sad. I'm sorry. Thankfully, I've never got it. Thankfully, but I don't know. I don't know if it's has anything to do. I mean, you said that you're alone though right now too. I don't know if it's because you have COVID and if you're normally around people, but I don't go around nobody. It seems like I go to Target, Lowe's, Sam's Club, and home. Every once in a while, I'll go out to eat with like a girlfriend or something. But for the most part, usually just hanging around. I like it as I've gotten older. Just like, I don't know. I just like the quietness. Doodlebug said, my cats are like needy dogs. They follow me everywhere I go, wait by the door and whine when I leave. It's ridiculous. And that's my cat. My cat talks to me. I think I was thinking about this the other day. Animals, they have to know our mannerisms just like we know theirs. You know how like everyone has an animal. If you have an animal, you know they have a quirk or they have something that they do that's just for them, that they just do, it seems like. And I don't know, I just feel like they kind of read us like we read them. Because my cat knows when it's time to eat. That's for sure. I've been at the store at 9 in the morning before, like forgot to get him food. You know, he's had food the night before and treats to last him for days. And it's like, can I just like, you know, maybe not be at the store at 7 or 8 in the morning? And nope, better get your butt to the store. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with tonight's live, and we'll talk in the chat too, and we'll talk out of the chat. But I figured we could kind of go. There's not like, well, there is some new news out of Idaho. Nothing that we haven't discussed on the channel, though. You know, just same old, same old. We're just trying to get the trial going. Just trying to get it. Hopefully, summer of 2024. I know that people were saying that they thought that the defense was going to make some sort of like reply, but I haven't seen it. So I'm just going to get back on there really quick. I didn't see it yesterday or the day before Friday when I was on. So I doubt it would be on over the weekend because they're not in the office to actually put it up, you know, and on the court side, but you never know. Good golly, that's a lot. Okay. No, there isn't. But yeah, so they just had the motioning for the scheduling order. So I thought that we could kind of go, because we can't go forward, so we're going to go back. Don't get me for it, you know. Your dogs bark at everything, even they're in shadows. My dog will, she's a Weimaraner, she'll growl like this horrible barking growl at my cat. And she'll only do it every once in a while, but it's like her instincts kick in. You know, she's a dog, that's a cat. And her instincts are, she's a hunting dog too. They just kick in, but she'll never do anything to the cat, but she just like growls really mean. And I'm like, Maya. And the cat will just stand there and just look at her and not even move. And I'm like, oh my God. The dog's 90 pounds, the cat's 9 pounds. Hey, Kaylee, welcome in. We were just talking Christmas stuff. Hey, PKC, Merry Christmas, everyone. Everyone that's coming in. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get to the live. If you guys don't mind hitting the like, you know, really does help the channel. So I found this article and it kind of got me like thinking about doing this live tonight, actually. It was an article off of, it's a radio station, so 104.3. I haven't listened to the radio in a long time. Wow Country. And it was about Nancy Grace. And I don't know if you guys remember. I'm sure that most of you guys have been here since the beginning of the Idaho case. But Miss Nancy Grace went to Idaho the first week of January and sat at a table like that. I don't know, 5 foot, 6 foot table in front of the Idaho Moscow Massacre Murder House, whatever you want to call it, Idaho King Road House. And she sat it there and was like doing work from it. Now, now we all know I love Nancy. I have her behind me. She's behind the door right now because we're moving stuff around. I don't want to hurt her, but you know, sorry about that, Nancy. But you know, I love my cardboard Nancy. But she shocked me by even doing that. I was like, oh no, she didn't just park her freaking table there. But I like the way this guy put it. She's just doing investigative journalism, just like anybody else would be doing in that position. Now, I mean, I don't know if they would let JLR sit there like this with the neon green gloves that, you know, her son, I think her daughter or son made those for her. Boy Scout camp or Girl Scouts or something. Super cute idea. But yeah, so I just thought it would be funny if we kind of like read through this because it does show us a little bit of her travels through Idaho. Now, there used to be a full video. Now, I promise there was a full video of her going from Moscow to Pullman back to Moscow. but I can only find clips of it, like 5-second, 8-second clips here and there on her YouTube or Facebook, and I found them in this article too, so I'm wondering if it's been scrubbed from the internet. How did she level it out on that slope? I don't That's a good question. It was let's go back up. Um, I think she was kind of up on yeah, she probably had some boxes, some some crates holding up the top, like holding up some legs. Oh man, she was so serious too. But it says, just we all know that Nancy Grace doesn't hold back, and when she sinks her teeth into something, she's going to make sure that everyone knows that she's going in for the kill. Since day one, Nancy Grace has been a voice for the University of Idaho students who were brutally murdered. It's been a journey since day one, and it continues to weigh on a community of students, parents, and everyone who has been a part of this journey. And then a journey of exactly what Nancy Grace did earlier this week is what she made the trek to Moscow, Idaho to broadcast from in front of the crime scene. So I thought, you know what? Nancy's covered this story, like this case, like the whole time. I don't know a lot of reporters that have covered. I don't know if any reporters covered it. Maybe as much, maybe more videos, like News Nation, more videos, but her videos are like 40 minutes long each. So I don't know who has most coverage, if that makes sense. Maybe News Nation might have her beat, but she's pretty up there. And she actually, she went to the actual house too. So it says here, in Idaho, heading to the crime scene. So this was when she first went into Moscow or got in there, January 10th, rolling into town. See, and it's only like small clips. And then she had went to the Mad Greek restaurant when she was there. Man, look how those tables are not far apart. Thinking of as a server. And then this is another one. It just looks like she's just in the restaurant. I think it's the same one, actually, same clip. It almost looks like. And then she took a picture with these ladies here, and I think that was pretty much it. All this is her just like driving the route that Christopher Kohlberger, hashtag, says allegedly drove the night of the Idaho murders.
We are driving Kohlberger's route the night he allegedly left the murder scene. There is nothing out here.
It's like continue watching on X. Let's see if it'll let me. If it'll even show anything. No, it's 8 seconds still. So, yeah, I don't know why they shortened the videos like that, but they did. Hey, Richie, how you doing? Oh, no. Oh, no. It's so good to see you. I didn't even see you in the chat. I hope you're okay. Let us know if you need anything. And if you want to tell us what's going on, let us know. Oh, my gosh. Cannon? A cannon on Ashley's block. Oh, wow. We've had it all in the chat. That reminded me of Nookie. Man. That made me think of her. Oh, Katie said, I drove to Moscow and went to Mad Greek, and they had a memorial there. Yeah. Was it this one here? I think I have a picture of it in my. Oh, wait, this one might be outside the house, actually. The one I have in my overlays. Okay, well, where is it? There it is. Is this it? Is this the one outside Mad Greek? Yeah. I believe that's the one. Yeah, speedy recovery. I hope everything's okay. It's so eerie being at the house. I can only imagine. I would have liked to have been able to go. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate that. I would have really liked to have been able to see it before they demolish it. I mean, it's going to happen. Oh crap, Thursday. So mark your calendars off. We'll be here at 10 a.m. Because their time is 3 hours behind ours. So they said that demolition crews will be there at 7 a.m. to start. So we'll be here at 7 a.m. to sit. and watch. And I'll probably be crying my eyes out because that's going to be sad. It's going to be really sad. I think that was all of it. Yeah. Yeah. When that house comes down, that's going to be really, really sad. So, Mike, it's not going to be like live, but someone's going to live stream it, I'm sure. They're going to, so what they're doing is they're letting people go to, they have it mapped out, and they're letting people go to the cul-de-sac there on the end of, like, I believe King Road, Queen or King Road. I'm sorry. It would have been King. If you go down to that stop sign, you take like a right, there's a cul-de-sac there. And I think that's the cul-de-sac that they're allowing people to stream from or have video. Like the press is allowed there. So I don't know if it's just like a free for all or if it's just like press only. Now I'm wondering what it actually, like, if it said press or if it said public view. I don't remember it saying that. I don't remember it saying like either or. But they would have to, like, yeah, over by where Jack lived, I believe, Mike. Yeah. I think that's where they're going to let them like park, I think. Or maybe it is from the backside. That cul-de-sac back there. I didn't think about that. But I was thinking it was the one at the end of the road. Let me see if I can pull it up. Like I had the map for it, actually. The map for the actual place, though, like where I was like, I can't read this map. One of you guys actually sent it to me, and I thought it was great, but I couldn't read where they were telling people to park. So this is the map that they sent out. And from this map, I couldn't even tell you. Like, I don't even see it on here. Like, this is Nez Perce Drive. So, unless it's this one here. No, it wouldn't be. That's Taylor here. Wish I could like kind of zoom in, but I think the more I zoom in, it'll be like kind of, we won't be able to see it. But I wanted, if I go to Google Maps, oops, I didn't mean to hit my watch on that, but maybe I can show you where I think it was. Because I was thinking like, okay, so I was thinking down here on like King Road, like over here in this cul-de-sac, like by 1119, like down here in this area. Because that would be, you'd have you would still have that viewpoint, you know, like to see everything. But I really don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if he stopped attending or not. That's a really good question. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it if he did. Oh, the sign said parking in lot 1111 or something. Oh, let me see. Yeah, I don't see it. I'm like so bad at this. This is like the Where's Waldo. And I'm not liking it. But I did see actually JLR posted, he posted something on his Twitter. I forgot about this. And he said something about how can the police do this? And I'm like, well, it's not the police doing, or not the school doing that. It's the police. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. So he shared this on his Twitter. And it says, can someone explain to me what legal authority does the University of Idaho have to tow vehicles sitting on a public street in front of, King Road? Well, they're not the law of Moscow, but the law is working in conjunction with the school to demolish the house. So that's why the sign's up. Like, and it's for your safety, but it's just kind of like, he knows that answer. But it says no parking this side, 5 a.m. to 6 p.m., tow away zone, Thursday, December 28th, Friday, December 29th. Oh, wow. Why are they doing this Tuesday, January 2nd, and then Friday, January 5th? Oh, okay. So there's the red. It looks like it's like right to the right of the red. So in this area, I'm assuming. I mean, well, I could have told you that because that's Taylor Avenue, but I don't know exactly where it is in that area. Wow. Okay. So yeah, just make sure everyone's in, I mean, it's going to be an early morning stream, 10 a.m., bright and early. Oh, hummingbird cake. No, I haven't, but that sounds good. Yeah, Cindy, I'm the same way. I'm on like both sides of the. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was all for this house coming down, and I'm still okay with the house coming down. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just a YouTuber, but and I'm not. I have nothing. I have no kid that's going to the school. But I just feel like if you got to look at it, from both sides. It's really hard decision to make. I wouldn't want to make the decision. I wouldn't want to be the president of the school. I wouldn't want to be none of them. None of those people that had to gift the house had anything to do with it. The Moscow police, it's a messy situation, and no one's going to come out a winner. I mean, there's going to be people that are mad because the house is being torn down, or if for some reason the house is, they roll up just like, I mean, this happened before. They rolled up there in the crime scene vehicles or crime scene cleanup vehicles, had the house tarped off, and they were just entering when we saw all of a sudden all of them come back out. 15 seconds it took them to tear that stuff down and leave. So it could happen, but I don't know. I see it both ways. My heart says leave it up. There's families, that are still grieving, and it's right after Christmas. But then in my brain and in my heart too, Hunter Chapin has to go there. Maisie, Ethan's siblings have to be at that school. We don't have to be there. We don't have to see that house every day. Like, we choose to look at it. You know what I mean? Like, when we look at it online, we don't have to. I mean, it's terrible. It's just a terrible situation. So I thought it would be a fabulous idea to just hang out with Nancy and see how like her views kind of shifted and shaped throughout the investigation. So for some reason, Fox Nation, she normally has her videos. You know how we used to watch them always on Fox Nation? This one is a Fox Nation only because it's crime stories, but I only had the podcast version of this. I didn't have the video. There was never a video version of this one. So I don't know if she was like on the way to Moscow when this was recorded or what. Or actually, I think she was in Moscow when this one was recorded, because it was recorded on, actually she wasn't, I'm sorry. This first video was recorded on November 25th. So she hadn't gone to Moscow yet. Then the next video she does is she's actually on video for that one. And it's December the 1st. And then she just comes on from there. And it says Idaho student murders bombshell announcement on the second video. So we'll play the first one, see how we're doing, see where we're at. And hopefully you guys are wrapping some gifts and getting all ready for Santa Claus. Hopefully you guys were all good this year. So yeah, like I always do, I'll put some layovers over the screen. That way you guys have something else to look at, other than just the writing here. But basically what they're going to talk about is the beginning. This is like the first video that she did over the case. She has Dale Carson on. And they're going to talk about, the University of Idaho. So we'll go ahead and play it. If you guys don't mind just hitting the like button, I am going to play this and then fast forward through the commercials, because I forgot to do that prior to the live. Sometimes they have them. And I can't control the volume, so it might be a little loud.
Thank you to our partner making today's program possible. It's PB More Mirage.
Employers will respect. It's never too late. Drop it. So
I never win and tell.
Students are beautiful.
Get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
4 beautiful young college students massacred, slaughtered, some sleeping in their beds. I'm talking about the slaughter of University of Idaho students. The case unsolved. The murder weapon not found. The killer on the loose. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111. First of all, take a listen to our friends at The Today Show.
The most pressing facts are still a mystery. No murder weapon, no motive, not even a suspect description. Devastating for the families of Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Maddie Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez. Praying for justice in their grief.
Turn yourself in. You owe it to these mothers of these children, these fathers, these families. You're wrong. Turn yourself in.
And so far, the police say that they've received about 500 tips, and they're asking for even more tips from the public, from anybody that knows where these victims were the night before they were killed. But right now, the biggest lead seems to be that large fixed blade weapon, possibly a combat knife.
Let me introduce to you an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But first, I want to go to Audrey Conklin, investigative reporter with Fox News Digital. Audrey, thank you for being with us. This, of course, went down on the edges of the University of Idaho along Greek Row at off-campus housing. What do we know about the area?
We know that everything is very close by all of the places where each of the 4 student victims were the night before the murders and the early morning when it occurred are all very close together. You could even walk to each of the places. I don't think they did because at least 2 of them were driven home by a private party, but they're all very close together.
You know, that's significant. That puts things in an entirely different light. Now, Joseph got Morgan with me, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, and author of Blood Beneath My Feet on Amazon, star of a hit series, Body Bags with Joe Scott Morgan. If most people walk to where they're going, Joe Scott, that tells me the killer probably walked there too.
Yeah. And, when you look at this place, Nancy, it's got very specific points of access. There's a big bank of windows in the back of this house on essentially the second level. It's kind of built into the side of a hill.
Looks like a split level.
It does. And you can assess the place from a long ways away, but still have cover. I think that's significant. And you could only do that on foot. You
know, that's interesting that I just wonder sometimes, Joe Scott, if cops do the same thing I did as a prosecutor, like we're doing right now, sitting around and discussing and talking about possibilities. Again, when you look at this house, I'm looking at it right now, it looks like a split level. There is, what would you say, huge timbers holding up what appears to be a wraparound patio or a little porch that goes around the back, which would be very easy to get on. When you look at it, I'm looking at the sliding glass doors. The father of one of the victims stated that, and it's very apparent, that there are 2 points of entry. One is the front door, which is only entered with a code. Got to know the code to get in. A code like you would see on a rental unit. You know what I mean, Joe Scott, where you punch in 1, 2, 3, 4, and the door will open. The other point of access would be that sliding glass door, which for time immemorial has been a sweet spot for burglars. They're really easy to get into, and a lot of people leave them unlocked because they're a pain in the rear end to lock.
Yeah, they are. And sometimes, particularly college kids, you'll forget to do stuff like that. But can I draw your attention back to that door that has the keypad? If folks can find a static picture of that standalone static photo, and if you look to the left, there's a road, a tiny road that runs up the hill. Now, yesterday they had the police out there taking a look at tire tracks or
Right.
burn marks essentially on the road. Do you know there's a tree line right there? You could park adjacent to that and walk through the tree line and get access to that top level. So it would provide cover to get to that second floor that you're talking about, that kind of has the balcony, the decking area. It's kind of built into the ground. It's real interesting the way the whole thing is constructed.
You said burn marks. What do you mean by that?
Well, it looks like you can kind of see the skid marks in the road, like somebody has burned rubber in that area.
It's scratched off.
Yeah, they have. And I really wonder if they went out there and took rubber samples as well off of those tracks that were left behind.
But here's the problem. There is absolutely no control of the crime scene. When they got the call, everybody was looking around, and Joe, you would know this. It's really hard to keep people, particularly people of rank, from going up and looking and seeing the bodies and those sorts of things. And so the crime scene has been contaminated at the very beginning of this case.
Guys, you're hearing Dale Carson, high-profile lawyer, joining us out of Jacksonville. And not just lawyer, this is why he's critical today. He's former FBI, former police officer, and author. You can find him at dalecarsonlaw.com. Audrey, Joe Scott, Dale Carson, and also with us, someone we lean on a lot, Dr. Jory Crossan, psychologist, joining us, faculty, St. Leo University, research consultant, and author of Operation SOS. Guys, please jump in whenever you have a thought like Dale just did, and like Joe Scott brought up, those rubber marks where somebody scratched off near the home. Is it connected? Don't know. Must investigate. What are they doing right now, and what have we learned? I want you to take a listen to the county coroner, Kathy Mabbitt.
Most of them had just like one that was the lethal stab wound. Yes.
Can you describe what that one might have been?
Fatal ones were to the chest area or the upper body area.
Were there, and I only ask this because it sometimes determines what kind of a crime this was, a crime of passion, a random crime, a fight, a struggle. Was there, were any of them slashed? Were any of their necks cut? Or were these all puncture wounds?
Well, it was a pretty large knife, so it's really hard to call them puncture wounds. And they were definitely stabbings. And I mean, it has to be somebody that's pretty angry in order to stab 4 people to death.
Hearing our friends over at News Nation, Joe Scott Morgan, I got a problem. Okay, I got a lot of problems, but one of them is that Kathy Mabbitt, who I'm sure is a fine person, is a registered nurse. Wait for it, who has a degree, a BS in political science, and a law degree from the University of Idaho that she got in, I believe, 2006. Could have been 2001. Did you hear me?
I did.
A registered nurse with a law degree and a degree in political science. All those things, each of themselves, are spectacular feats. Okay? Really hard to do all that. But we need a trained medical examiner to look at the wounds. And also,
yeah, like whoever let her be in charge of that. I mean, I know it's the coroner job to pick up the bodies, but who was like letting her run amok? I mean, I'm glad that she did, because it gave us content and we got to listen to, what she had to say. So I'm just wondering who. I don't know why Kathy Mabbitt, in her right mind, would think that it would be okay to like go ahead and do like a full interview with Ashley Banfield. Like, you get a case, you get a call that you have 4 20-year-olds, pretty much 20, 21, they've been stabbed. Immediately you're going to think, oh my God, this is the worst case I've ever had. So after that, you think, I'm going to go tell everybody about it. I don't know. Yeah, exactly, Harlow. I think that she said things that just weren't even correct. Just weren't even, it's like, who let her run around? Very crazy. And Merry Christmas, Riddler and Kara. I saw a few other people coming in. Harlow, Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. And if you don't celebrate nothing, you can hang out with me tomorrow. And we'll celebrate Christmas or nothing together.
Not to disseminate information until it has been determined by a medical doctor, and possibly not even then do I have to say Delphi. Look, I want to know the information just like everybody else, but this is not the time to be releasing information about the wounds of the victims. Because if the killer is watching TV, what's he going to do right now? He's going to take that fixed blade knife and get rid of it. He's going to clean it and get rid of it, because so much information is being leaked, and information critical to the case.
And there's no central point of control with it. This is what really struck me about her interview, and she'd given one prior to the one that we just listened to, is that she made a statement before the police ever made a statement. I mean, an open statement where they gave an interview.
No offense, but shut your pie hole, lady. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, and so that's a bit different, and I think that a lot of this goes, and I'm not disparaging the jurisdiction up there. I think a lot of this goes to a lack of experience that they might have with dealing with mass fatalities like this, and something, people don't think this can happen in your town, and it does. It truly does, evidenced here. And everything demonstrates that you have to be on the same sheet of music. You have to have a point of control for all information that's coming in.
It's called a command center.
You're right, Dale Carson.
One of the noticeable things is when you do crime scenes like this, you've got to cover everything to prevent the environment from despoiling it. I haven't seen one covered area, particularly in the back of the property, where it's likely this individual stood and surveilled the house for perhaps a protracted period of time. And that's why the assaults were on the upper floors.
I'm going to fast forward through the commercials, but just want to remind everybody that we're going back in time. So this is Nancy's first episode over this case. And her and Dale Carson are just discussing everything that's going on. But I think there's a commercial here, so I'm just going to skip through it for us.
Lucky Land Slots, you with Hilton Honors.
The increase in travel, expert level theft protection start
above ground basement.
And if you guys want to watch this, after the live or whenever, or even during it, because it's in the description, I'll have I always have everything linked in the description, but I'll have her podcast link down there for you guys.
We know.
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace.
The assaults were on 2 floors. We know that there were 2 bedrooms on each floor. We know that 2 of the victims were on the 2nd floor, 2 of the victims were on the 3rd floor, and the other 2 roommates who survived were on the 1st floor, which could be considered, look at it, Joe Scott, an above ground basement. It's a split level house. You've got the entry point there on the bottom with the key code. Then the back kind of is built into the side of a little hill. Yeah. You got to look at this place to get it. So at first I thought, wow, the 2 surviving roommates are on the bottom floor, so the perp had to walk up 3 floors. He could have very well entered through that sliding glass door, which would have put him at an upper level. Yes, no, Joe Scott?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
I think he came in through the sliding glass door. The more I'm reasoning it through, look at the house. Guarantee you he came through that sliding glass door. Although a lot of people seemingly had the code to that front door. Guys, take a listen now to our Cut 40, our friends at KREM. New details emerging.
New details are emerging in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. Tonight, the Latah County coroner says the 4 students were likely asleep. Some had defensive wounds, and each victim was stabbed multiple times. Authorities found no sign of sexual assault. Moscow police say at this point in the investigation, they do not believe the 2 surviving roommates or the man seen standing near a local food truck were involved in the murders. Police also addressed rumors swirling online claiming the victims were gagged and tied, saying saying those are not accurate, and the identity of the 911 caller has not been released.
Okay, we do know Audrey Conklin joining us, investigative reporter with Fox News Digital. Audrey, we are learning more about the person that called 911. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Audrey, but I think that one of the roommates that survived, a surviving roommate, tried to wake up one of the victims. The victim wouldn't wake up. The surviving roommate calls a friend and says, hey, I think she's passed out. He or she is passed out. They came over. They realized she's not passed out. She's dead. They call 911. Police get there and they find the other 3 victims.
So Nancy was kind of on the right track here. If we go by what we've heard now, a year later, or over a year, like a year and 2 months later now, this was done in November 25th. So yeah, a year and a month. Now I forget what I was going to say. What was she talking about? Oh my gosh, my brain just cut off, guys. Hold on, let me go back like 15 seconds. Sorry. I looked at one of your comments. I shouldn't have done that.
She is passed out.
Okay, that's what I was about, the 911 call. Okay. Because according to, there's some creators on YouTube that I've talked to people that said, that they know what happened that day, or they know, who was in the house that day that went over there to call 911, and they said that it was Hunter. And that he went in because he thought that there was somebody that just needed help, opened the door, and then found him. So Nancy was kind of saying the same thing. So we'll see what she has to say.
They came over. They realized she's not passed out. She's dead. They call 911. Police get there and they find the other 3 victims. That's my understanding. What do you know, Audrey?
I haven't heard about one of the roommates trying to wake up one of the victims, but what I can see happening, and this is speculative, but maybe the roommates who we now know lived on the first floor of the house saw or heard something that frightened them, that morning.
And this was also before we found out that Dylan was on the second floor. Because in the beginning, for a little while, we thought that they were both on the first floor. Bethany and Dylan was.
Maybe without seeing the victims themselves. Maybe they saw blood. Maybe they saw or heard something that was, not unusual in that household. So they called friends over to check out the situation. Those friends may have seen a victim in their bed not moving, which I think would make the unconscious person report make sense. And they called police from one of the roommates' phones.
That's right, because one of the surviving roommates' cell phone was used to call 911, but apparently it was not their surviving roommate. Your construction of the facts makes perfect sense, Audrey. Guys, take a listen to our friend Kyle Simchuk.
Detectives say they've received nearly 500 tips, which are being processed, investigated, and cleared. 38 people who may have information about the murders have been interviewed. The whereabouts of the killer and the knife used are still unknown. Detectives seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road to look for evidence. Police have also gone to local businesses to see if anyone recently purchased a fixed-blade knife. Anyone who saw something suspicious, has video surveillance, or can provide relevant information about the murders is asked to call the Moscow Police Department.
Jessica Morgan joining me, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University. A fixed blade knife, as opposed to, for instance, a switchblade, it's not fixed, immovable in the hilt, or a penknife that folds out. A fixed blade knife is certainly going to be the weapon because it's more sturdy. And we know that these are very deep stab wounds. Explain.
Yeah, they're very robust, I would imagine, in their appearance. That means that the width of the knife, and it had been mentioned earlier, they used the term puncture wound. It's not a puncture wound. This is going to be a big open wound where the knife is introduced into the body specifically. And I think one of the reasons they're drawing this conclusion, remember they keep saying military style. I think that perhaps what happened, there is a hilt guard. That's that little bar that goes across the handle that separates the blade from the handle.
Horizontally across the knife.
Yeah. And so I think, and most military style knives have those, we can see actually a bruise called a hilt bruise lots of times when this is driven into the body. That might be where they're drawing that conclusion from. They've used the term K-bar, which is generally associated with the Marine Corps. It's a combat knife. I don't know that for a fact, but that name has been thrown around. Our Marines have used that since World War II.
I've heard that too. To Dr. Jory Crossan joining us, psychologist and faculty, St. Leo University, also author. Dr. Jory, question, think about it. This is between 3 and 4 in the morning. And apparently, Jackie, I read that one of the victims was making calls up until 2:58. 2:58. Did you see that? Did you see that, Audrey? That one of the victims is on the phone at 2:58?
Yes. Police believe that she was on the phone right before the murders are estimated to have happened.
Yeah. And how was she asleep? 2 minutes later. Very curious timing, but that's got to have been established by phone records or someone that spoke and could look at their phone and go, yeah, it was 2:58. Also, we know that one of the girls continually called an ex-boyfriend, Jack. They shared custody of a dog, I guess is one way to put it, and were maybe even reconciling. That said, Jack has been ruled out by the family. There was a flurry of phone calls to the friend Jack right before the murders. So the last call's at 2:58, and they're placing the murders between 3 and 4 a.m. 2 minutes later, yet they say the victims were in bed and likely asleep. To Dr. Jory Crossan joining us, the thinking of this perp to go from floor to floor. If the murders were targeted, why kill 4? Wouldn't it likely be one of the victims was targeted?
Yes, it could be, but then the others just become collateral, like witnesses. But also, with a personality, a frenzy attack, once they start the killing, then it just, the deviance just produces that behavior to kill again. I'd be real interested in knowing the sequence of who was killed first or how the bodies were found. And, I think you could pretty well determine if we knew that, like who was killed, because Ethan, the boy, the male, seems like he would be one of the first to be eliminated.
Except that he was likely in the same bedroom with a female, his girlfriend, Xana. Yeah. So let's think this through. Dale Carson, Joe Scott Morgan, jump in. We're talking about this scenario, and it's really impossible to determine based specifically on the bodies which murder was first. But other information could tell us that.
But think about it. The lights are out. You enter a house. You're going to kill somebody. You have a specific target in mind. You go into one room. It's not the target, but you kill them anyway. And then you work your way progressively, and you can determine when you find the target's knifing is going to be different. And one of the things that you mentioned that's really peculiar to me is that if someone calls and says somebody's unconscious here, and they're dead, there's no way you can stab somebody in the chest and really eviscerate them without leaving a tremendous blood trail. So you don't call the police and say, look, there's somebody unconscious. You say there's blood everywhere. Somebody's dead.
Exactly.
Something's wrong with that. The killings were so instantaneous, which belies the argument that there are multiple stab wounds.
What about it, Joe Scott?
Yeah, I'm thinking there is an outside possibility that science could have the answer here, and this is what I believe. If they are careful in collecting their evidence, the person who was the first to be attacked will have the least amount of others' DNA on them. And what I mean by that is once that knife, assuming, of course, that they're using only one instrument, once that blade is introduced into that first person's body, they withdraw that blade, okay? They now move over to the next person and then reintroduce that blade. into the next victim's body, and so forth and so on.
There's your sequence.
And you have what's referred to as commingling of blood and certainly biological material, DNA. So the person, if they work their trace evidence right at the scene, the person that has the least amount of DNA from someone else, there's a higher likelihood that person could be the first victim, Nancy.
Guys, take a listen to Our Cut 43. This is Sarah.
Who I'm wondering, I'm kind of in agreement with, I'm going to be agreeing with Nancy for a minute. I'm going to let her talk. Cause I'm thinking here, she's talking about, we don't know which one was the target, but we don't know. We still don't know. All of the speculations and theories that are out there are just speculations and theories. But this was day one, what they were saying. They thought, they didn't know. They were like, we don't know who the target was. We've always speculated, but wonder who she's going to speculate. Because she'll get there, I'm sure. She'll get there. But in the beginning, I think we all, I don't know, is anyone in the chat still, do they still believe the same that they believed, since day one? I kind of do, just a little, like, I thought so at first I thought Xana and Ethan were the target, but then after that, I thought it was Maddie. And I've stuck with Maddie. But I just think it's kind of interesting to go back and think about where your brains were and what you guys were, what we were thinking about this year or this day last year, even on this day or, on the 25th of November, because we were getting information. We were getting like press conferences and stuff, but we are a needy people and we wanted more. And this was before we even knew what the house layout even looked like. We didn't know what the house inside looked like.
Robinson, along with family members.
It doesn't make sense.
He says Xana was in constant communication with her family and nothing about that night seemed unusual.
The door locks with the number code. Every time you open it, like I had to go around the house to get in the house because of the number code. So they either knew that or they just kind of went around and found the slider open.
A father struggling to understand how this could have happened. Why Xana?
They were just hanging out at home.
Yeah.
Xana was hanging out at home with her boyfriend.
The code on the front door, the sliding glass door on the side of the building, affixed to a little patio, kind of a wraparound patio. What's the point of entry? Because there you will find fingerprints. And I say absolutely you will, because this type of frenzied attack is not conducive to the mind of a killer who would wear gloves and then conduct 4 frenzied attacks. That is inconsistent. What do we know investigators are doing right now? They are retracing the steps. 2 of the victims were at a sports bar and then a food truck. 2 of the victims had been to a fraternity party at the Sigma Chi house and then came back to the residence on King Road. Why? Because they are looking for suspects. Take a listen to Amanda Rowley at Crim.
Investigators believe Madison and Kaylee were at the Corner Club on Saturday from 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Sunday morning. Then they were at the Grub Truck on Main Street at 1:40 a.m. 5 minutes later, the map says they returned to their home on King Road. Investigators also believe Ethan and Xana were at a party at Sigma Chi from 8 to 9 p.m. Saturday night, then returned to the King Road home at 1:45 a.m. on Sunday. The hope is that someone might remember being at or near these locations around the same time and potentially saw something suspicious or relevant to the investigation. Police are asking those people to call the tip line number or email that information.
The tip line is 208-883-7054. Repeat, 208-883-7054. Dale, is that you jumping in? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's just a dead end street. Look, the individual who murdered these folks was laying in wait back up on the hill, came in through that sliding glass door and perpetrated the crimes. He has no association with other people, and you're likely to find that the individual is either living in the woods, like individuals in prior cases that are not part of polite society. They're not part of our society. And you can see them. They're living homeless. They're different than us, and they feel alienated from us. And that's one of the driving features that causes them to injure us, aside from any other psychological problem that they have.
What do you make of that to you, Dr. Jory Crossan?
I agree with it. I think this person's going to be like a transient person with no real ties to that community. You know, in college towns, they can blend in real easy with the students, and the people that go unnoticed, be anonymous, basically. And then, just like Dale was saying, if they get a fixation, stalking, or see a target, and then they're gone. They're in and out.
Okay. Joe Scott Morgan, how does that jive with police theories that this was a targeted attack?
Well, yeah, I think that there's a chance that this individual has been watching for a while. Again, I go back to this idea of the points of observation. If they have been tracking these girls, listen, it would have been the perfect environment that night. If they had been watching them on any level, watching them go to parties, they're walking around. Remember when we saw that image at the food truck, they're kind of jovial, laughing, cutting up. They had been out partying that night, and they were perfect targets at that moment in time for somebody that was looking to strike. And again, brutally cold at night, this person feels comfortable moving around in that environment. You saw everybody was wearing hoodies, jackets, and all that sort of thing. They would have to be comfortable in that environment walking around. So that might go to the point that they are transient, that they're not part of polite society.
We are learning more and more about the timeline. That's the first thing you do, is try to establish a timeline. Take a listen to our friend Zareen Shah.
A sister of one of the 4 college students found murdered at an off-campus house near the University of Idaho, revealing new clues.
So I was able to get a pretty good timeline on Kaylee and Maddie the night of, from about 10:15 until shortly before 3 a.m.
Olivia Gonzalez says she discovered at least 6 calls from her sister Kaylee's phone between 2:26 and 2:52 made to a boyfriend in the early morning of November 13th. Detectives now saying these phone calls are a part of their investigation.
The phone calls are critical because we know that Gonzalez was up, Xana was up at 2:52 a.m. Let me think that through. 2:52 a.m. It was Kelly, not Xana Kernoodle. Kelly was up at 2:52 a.m. on the phone. Yet, Audrey Conklin, they're starting the timeline of the murders at 3 a.m.
Right. So police have said that between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. is when the murders occurred. So they could have been asleep. But yeah, phone activity shows that they were up and trying to contact people right before the murders occurred.
It's very creepy to Dr. Jory Crossan to know that one of the victims, Kelly, is on the phone at 2:52 a.m. and the timeline sets the murders at 3 a.m. Could someone have been watching, and when the lights are turned off, they enter the home?
They could have already been in the home.
Okay.
And waiting, for settling down, like hearing a conversation on the phone. Okay, let the phone get hung up. One thing you mentioned earlier about the weapon, and they were looking and checking at the stores to see if somebody bought. I would think this weapon is really important to them. I don't think they just went out and bought it. I think they've had it for a while. This has been part of that identity, if you lack for a better psychological term.
Well, it is actually an identity. Every time that we go camping, when we run into other campers, a lot, and it's usually men, will have huge hunting knives in sheaths attached to their belts. The way people will attach like an iPhone or some other instrument or tool to their belts, these knives are attached to them. So that does speak to their identity.
Yeah, and here in the South, everybody carries a knife. They got those clip-on
Well, I don't
ones.
know about that because I don't know a single soul that carries a knife other than the scout troop leader, the man, not the woman. Okay, well, you guys go ahead and carry a knife. That's your business. Take a listen now to Captain Roger Lanier with the Moscow Police.
On the morning of November 13th at 11:58 a.m., a 911 call was. On the evening of November 12th, Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Morgan were at a local bar and were later at a food truck in downtown Moscow. They arrived home at approximately 1:45 a.m. on the morning of November 13th. Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were at the Sigma Chi house before also arriving home at approximately 1:45 a.m. Two surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning.
Sick of paying $100 for groceries? Points for 3 nights.
Experience the gig offer. Visit consumer sites.
From hotels of all resolution.
Stoplight camera.
Crime Story. Vacation. Booking.com.
I didn't mean to rewind that again. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Crime Stories with Nancy Grace.
Okay, right now, cops are scouring the area for video surveillance. I'm talking about Ring doorbell cameras, stoplight cameras, business surveillance video, such as at the corner bar where they were. 2 of them were that night. At the food trucks where we spot 2 of the victims at the food truck just before their murders. Was that you, Dale? Jump in.
It was. Look, they're going to find a sniper's hide up on the hill behind that house. That's where their evidence is going to be. This person has waited for them to come home. He didn't follow them. He wasn't watching them and following behind them in a car or on a bike. He was waiting. And that's where the first investigation should have been conducted candidly. Now, I taught serial killers for the Bureau for a number of years. Those people have the patience of Job. They will wait and wait and wait until the opportunity is perfect from their perspective. What we've got to worry about is there's another pet that was killed, and I handled a case or was involved in a case involving that sort of thing, where the pets started going missing first, and then there was a homicide that was directly connected to the individual who was taking the pet.
Hold on. Audrey Conklin, joining us from Fox News Digital, has a connection.
Is anybody else having an error in their chat? My chat is not letting me. It's not letting me post. But anyway, I was trying to tell Riddler 4 times now and 5 times now in the chat. I kept copy and pasting it. She said he was talking about Southern boys. They do carry pockets or carry knives. I agree. I think that every man should carry a little pocket knife. My dad did. Call me old fashioned, but that shit came in handy. He had one of those like 20-in-1s, the little Swiss Army knives. I'm telling you, anytime you needed something, he'd be like, let me get my knife out. And it was handled. It was taken care of. Maybe it's because I grew up in a world where MacGyver was like king, though. So if you know, you know.
Been made in any way from a pet to the quadruple murder?
No connections have been made yet between any kind of animal violence and the murders, but I'm sure that's something police are looking at.
What about this theory, Audrey? What about the theory that the perp came into the home while everyone was gone? Every single person was out of that home. All 6 were gone. The 5 roommates and the boyfriend, Ethan, all gone. When they come home and he's already in there, and then everybody starts settling down to sleep, I wonder if it happened like that. Or Joe Scott, Did he enter after they were asleep through that sliding glass door? What do you think?
First blush, Nancy, when I heard about this, I really had thought that this guy was possibly laying in wait inside the residence.
I mean, he could be in there for any reason, looking for food, looking for money, looking for something to steal, and then everybody starts coming home. He may have thought they were away.
Yeah, and it's like Dale was saying, this is this individual's sole focus in life, perhaps. His target. He can sit there and wait because he's totally fixed on these individuals as targets, or maybe one of them that he's zeroed in on. And it would not surprise me if they were to find evidence within the house that he had been hiding somewhere, sequestered somewhere in that house and waiting for them to come in. But we don't know. And given the fact that there was, it seems at least, that there may have been a lack of security at the scene when processing. And look, you have to say things are chaotic at the beginning with many times like this, but it's troubling to me. I hope they haven't missed something outside the house.
The dog, Dale Carson, is talking about a high-profile lawyer out of Jacksonville, former Fed with the FBI, a woman who lives near the quadruple murder there in Idaho, about 3 miles, says her little mini Australian shepherd had literally been filleted a few weeks before the quadruple murder, making some people think that the two are connected. Back to this. Take a listen to Chief James Fry.
Detectives are looking to develop any content that would help us in this event. Anyone who has observed any notable behavior or has any video surveillance or can provide relevant information about these murders, please call our tip line at 208-883-7180. Or you can email the tip line and that is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us.
And more from Captain Roger Lanier. Listen.
On the morning of November 13th at 11:58 a.m., a 911 call was placed to the Whitcomb Dispatch Center reporting an unconscious person. The call originated from inside the residence and was made from the phone of one of the surviving roommates. Moscow Police Department officers responded and located 4 victims, 2 on the second floor and 2 on the third floor.
We're getting a little clarification regarding who made the 911 call. Take a listen again to Chief James Fry.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News. Just following up on the 911 call, you said that you don't believe that's the killer. Can you conclusively rule out the person that called 911 from inside the home as a suspect in this case?
Can you go ahead and just ask that one more time, please?
The person that was inside the home that called 911 that was not one of the roommates. Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
I believe somebody asked if that was the killer and you said no.
No, that's correct.
Was there someone there other than the 2 roommates when police responded?
There was other friends that had arrived at the location.
So that goes back to what Audrey Conklin from Fox News Digital was telling us, that one of the roommates apparently couldn't wake up a victim. Maybe she just called her through the door. I don't know. And then she, the surviving roommate, called friends over. The friends come over. One of them uses roommate's phone to call 911. There's a lot that's been made about who called 911. It's a friend of the surviving roommate. And they have been ruled out as suspects along with the surviving roommates. Here's more from Captain Roger Lanier.
Investigators have determined 2 areas of interest within the city and have provided maps which are on our Facebook page and on our website. And these are areas that they have canvassed for additional surveillance video and tips and have contacted several residents in the areas. The areas are generally south of Taylor Avenue to Palouse River Drive and west of Highway 95. Detectives have also canvassed several other neighborhoods looking for evidence, looking for additional surveillance video, and contacting residents and speaking to them to see if they may have heard or seen something.
To you, Joe Scott Morgan, I think that what the police need to be doing right now, and I've got it narrowed down to 4 or 5 things. One, looking for the suspects and retracing. That would include Corner Club, where Morgan Gonsalves went, then the Grub Truck, and of course the Sigma Chi house. To look at all the ring cams, the doorbell cams, the surveillance video, the DNA. There's no way that this scene could have played out the way it did without fiber, fingerprints, DNA, hair. And they're going to have to use ancestral DNA. And I'll tell you why. Because I believe that the perp may not be in CODIS or APHIS.
Oh, well, would you look at that? She was kind. I mean, she's pretty spot on. They used genealogy. This video was made November 25th before we even had a suspect. I'm gonna say Nancy's a pretty smart lady.
They may get a fingerprint or DNA at the scene, but they don't have anything to match it to. Explain.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't know that I agree relative to fingerprints. I think that this person probably has been an offender at some point in time.
Possible.
If they can recover a latent print at that scene, and trust me, this is an evidence-rich environment. This place would have been bathed in blood, Nancy. He's going to transfer a lot of stuff, and he can
totally
potentially have left bloody fingerprints behind if he's not wearing gloves. And it's like you said at the open, I don't know that this guy is sophisticated enough to have shown up with gloves.
No
he
way.
Probably has a real desire to run his hands over these surfaces, I would imagine. So he's going to leave something of himself behind.
Absolutely. Somewhere out there are bloody clothes, bloody shoes.
Yeah, one more thing I have to emphasize. As feverish as this was, Nancy, there is a high probability that this monster cut himself in the midst of this. He may have left his DNA behind, commingled with the victim's DNA as well.
We wait as justice unfolds. Nancy Grace, Crime Story, signing off. Goodbye, friend.
She always says goodbye, friend. So yeah, this one was done. This tape or this recording was done back in, when did I say that was? November 25th of 2022. So she's been following this case for a little while. I don't know how many videos Nancy's done. I probably should know that because we've watched them, but I couldn't even tell you. I just know that she's done a lot with this case. When Nancy Grace comes and parks her table right out in front of your house, I mean, you know stuff's going to get done, I guess. She was at least going to get the cops looking at her a couple different ways, I mean, I don't know what I would say if I was an investigator investigating a homicide, and then here comes Nancy Grace pulling up to the scene. But I mean, yeah, I think that where are you getting your information, Chloe's mom? Because I think you're mistaken. All of the families have spoken out. Dylan said that she describes him in the PCA. I don't know. I bet he leaves something like a sheath. Yeah, I know, right? Like a sheath. And well, when Nancy said she said something like it was a frenzied attack. And if you think about it, it probably was a frenzied attack. People, I think, give Brian Kohlberger a little bit too much cred. They give him a lot of credit and they don't even know the dude. But they give him a lot of credit. They think he's like we've been thinking of him as like a ninja in the night. But if you think about it, it probably was frenzied. And that's probably why he left the damn knife sheath there. Because those knife sheaths are huge. I'm telling you, I was more impressed by the size of the knife sheath than I was the size of the knife when I saw it in person. I really did. I mean, the knife is, yeah, it's a knife. It's a sharp knife. But I don't know, that sheath that goes in, that leather sheath is huge. Merry Christmas Eve, Leslie. Oh, they are, Jenny. Your twins are the same age. Oh, that's so exciting. She posted a picture today with her twins, and I don't know the rest of the family. I'm sure her mom and everybody was in it, but I just saw it. Yeah, pickle me. I was wondering that too. I'm wondering why are we batshit crazy? That's what I'm wondering. I give you the most up-to-date information on the Idaho 4 case here. And I take that responsibility seriously. But if you want, I can read you all the legal documents, starting with the PCA. I think there's probably, how many legal documents do you think we have? Over 100 now? But I'll read them all to you if you like. That could be a Christmas present. A 24-hour stream with TitaniumBuilt. Yeah, tinfoil hat wearing. Yep. That's us, Ashley. That's us. It's probably, I don't know. I mean, I've said in this case since the beginning, there's people for the entertainment value and then people for the factual value. Nothing, I guess, wrong with either one. I mean, if that's your fancy, but that's just your fancy. So the next video I'll end up playing for you guys, we'll do it on our next live. It'll be December 1st. And it's her actually, Nancy in person on this one. And it's from Fox Nation. So it'll be the Idaho student murders bombshell announcement. And her face is funny. I'm looking at her face right now. Her face is always funny. I always have her paused at the worst times. But she needs to smile for a few seconds in the beginning. And then I could pause her without her looking all crazy. But so that video was before we had a suspect. We were still wondering who was where in the house until even the end of the podcast that Nancy was on. She was like, "Oh wait, we're getting news right now that that's where they were located." Yes, actually, apparently they do. But man. Xana's dad did say a word. He said, I have the interviews. You should go to my playlist. I have an interview from him. I have 2 or 3. He actually just spoke out with the Gonzalez family. They spoke out together. Xana Kernodle's father, Jeff, his lawyer is the same attorney, Shannon Gray, that's the attorney for the Gonzalez family. Let's see if I can find that. Let's see. We just played it in one of our lives. Let's see, what's this? This might be it. That might be their statement, but that's not the official one. But yeah, let me know if you guys remember me showing you guys that. Well, here's one from him anyway. The Gonzalez family. Okay. Maybe let me see what this one's about. They were on Dateline too, or what was it, 48 Hours? Or Dateline? I forget which one they came out on. Jasmine and her father, Jeff, were on that. And the first interview he came out, he said he had talked to her at midnight the night before, the night of the homicides, and that she talked about something something with her and Ethan, but they did talk that evening. I'm trying to think of what it was. what article it was. Okay, I found it, I think. Let me see. I think this one might be it. So if you're still in here, says, additionally, the families of 3 of the victims have vocalized their desire to preserve the house until the case is resolved. If you heard Kara Kernodle come out, she did an interview with Nancy Grace a couple months ago and said she wanted the house to stay up. And then here's the statements from the Gonzalez's, and then this is a statement on behalf of Jeff Kernodle. And we'll read that one. That's the one we'll read. As the family has stressed from the beginning of this investigation, the King Road house is one of the most critical pieces of evidence in this case. We are grateful that the University of Idaho listened to the family's concerns and delayed the demolition of the home. Isn't this the whole point of not destroying evidence? You may not know if you need it until later, or it may become more important once a jury hears evidence in a case. It is our understanding that the King Road residence will not be demolished until after the trial has concluded. On another note, it is important for families of victims to stay involved in this process and trust your gut when it comes to standing up for the victims in this case. Our voice has been loud and consistent, and we will stay that way, and will stay that way for Kaylee, Xana, and all of the victims until justice has been served. And he even grouped Xana and Kaylee together. So if you want, I can pull up another one. Just let me know if you're still there if you want me to. But I should keep some of these. I mean, I do. I keep a lot of them bookmarked, but I should go through them all. And I do have all of the old interviews. Like, I put them in chronological order and everything because nobody wants a story taken out of, you know what I mean? Like, not like in the right order. So they're on my Idaho playlist. We've done a lot of videos over Idaho. We've done a lot of videos. And I think that, I think that we've kept it pretty factual over here. It said lack thereof. And why would there be DNA at his parents' home? That'd be a long time to not shower, change your clothes, or do anything like that. I mean, I think we have to give him credit. I think he probably planned a little of this. I think it just went awry. I just don't. That's what I guess I want to stand on the other side of this and say, why can't he be guilty? Like, why can't Brian Koberger be guilty? Because to some people, he can't. You know? Well, thank you, Riddler. Thank you. I appreciate that. That was on a Monday morning that I took that picture, and I said, you better take a picture, girl. And we don't know all the evidence, of course not. And, you know, they're not going to put, if you think about it, it's a PCA. They're not going to put their biggest hand. They'll put something in there in order to ensure an arrest. But they're not going to lay out all their cards so that the defense knows going ahead of trial what exactly evidence they have, what evidence they have, and how they're going to use it. You know what I mean? You want to leave a little bit to the imagination, to where they're getting the discovery as you're going through the court system and process, not way beforehand, where they can already have a strategy before the dude's even been booked in. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Hey, PJ, second chance. They were looking for his DNA, Chloe's mom. She said, really, DNA can be found in his apartments for sure. Why else did the FBI dig through trash? They were sitting there and they were hungry in the patrol car watching him. So they were like, let's just get out and see if there's a hamburger in the trash. Happy holidays, Sarah. I'm sorry. Oh, Lordy. Oh, man. Maybe he shouldn't have said he was out driving around. Like, I would have he probably should have said, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. That probably would have been better than out driving around. Just because of the time frame that they put it in. I mean, Anne says he started driving around November 12th, and then they have him, on video or whatever, so according to the PCA at like 5:30 or right around between 5:20 5:30. So that means he would have been driving around from at least 11:30 prior the night before, because she put him on the 12th, not the 13th. So was he just driving for, let's just say 6 hours? No, you don't have to get gas, or you're not hungry. Don't need to pick up a road sody, something, a little something to drink on. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I've taken a lot of rides in my day. That's all we did growing up, because I lived in a small town. We had nothing to do but get in a car and just drive around. And there has never been a time that I was ever in a car for 6 hours straight. Or I'm just putting it like 11:30 to 5:30. I'm just saying, if that's the time. And Jenny, it's really not. It's not common at all. Too many coincidences, yeah. It's not a very solid alibi. I think it's just I think it's the standing silent and then the no alibi. I don't know. But if you think that's a smart move, it may be. I know that whenever you get into trouble, a lawyer tells you don't say anything. But I would be singing like a canary. He was high off the hay, yeah. They took a direct match from Brian Kohlberger's cheek swab. Not only DNA they have is from his dad. No. Hold on. Hold your horses there. Coming in hot. Let me see if this is the right one that I wanted to look at. I saw it on the review thing that they statistically took as a troop squad, but I'm trying to read fast. That's probably not good. But they did. They took a troop squad from him. I'll find another one. I saw it in the preview of this one, but I don't know why it didn't pull it up. Let me just go here. Yeah, why are you doing this? It's weird. I think that my Chrome is updated. But I wanted to get, there's an article that I wanted to get. It was a certain article. Well, this is like a whole article about. Oh, I don't want to go through the whole. Oh, I was reading your comments. This is the shortest Christmas season I can remember. Swifty Sock said, yeah, me too. And then she said, and I did. Swifty said, and I didn't buy one gift because I thought I had so much time. I feel you. I feel you on that. He must have liked his night drives. What I don't understand is about the night driving is why you wouldn't have your phone on. You're not really from the area. I mean, like, really, you're not from the area. You're from Pennsylvania. If somebody dropped me off in those back roads of between Moscow and Pullman and Moscow and all of that, I wouldn't know my way around there. I would have to have like a GPS on. And I think that's why he took his phone with him. I think that's why he took it, because he thought he was going to get lost. And it's just like out of a habit. I think that he, remembered to turn it off, but I think that he didn't realize that, people can track you at any, even if your phone is off. They still have the capabilities. There's a lot of articles on this, but not the one I'm looking for. It was like a local one. So, here we go. Prosecutor says once the DNA recovered from the knife sheath was tested against Kohlberger's cheek swab following his arrest, the profile findings were said to be at least 5.37 octillion times more likely to be seen if defendant is the source than if an unrelated individual randomly selected from the population is the source. Yeah, so I'm wondering if it was off or what. Yeah, I'm wondering what his phone. I was just assuming it was off until he turned it back on, and I'm assuming I would probably, I don't know, I would be lost out there. I don't know. I just would be. Yeah, I didn't see anything for the Instagram or Facebook either. I know that's been going around like Instagram, Facebook connection. I don't even know if they had Facebook. Did the girls even have and Ethan have a Facebook? Because they're younger. You know what I mean? Like the younger, I feel like younger generations don't really have Facebook anymore. They're more like TikTok, Instagram. But that's just, that's me. I don't know. I have a Facebook. It's really old too. Yeah, you would think he'd be a little smarter. But then again, I went to school for criminal justice and applied science myself, and here I am. Yet here we are. Mine was car accident, unforeseen circumstances, but his are kind of the same. Not unforeseen though. Let me get back up a little bit. Yeah, no, I don't think that it would be crazy that he would have connections in Moscow. I just think that he would have had his phone turned on. Like, you know what I mean? I think that if it's like certain. Now, I'm wondering if his phone was turned. Now, I can't remember for sure what the document says. If it said his phone was turned on and in the area the 12 times that it was pinged, or if they just said 12 times it was pinged in the area. Because I'm wondering if his phone was physically turned on in those 12 times, or if his phone was turned off. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Yeah, me and Sleuth are going to have to do another show together soon. I had a lot of fun. I was actually looking at Delphi documents today, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get a hold of Sleuthy. I have my old, I used to print out the internet. I still do. I'm not going to lie. But I have the PCA and everything. I have it all printed out. And I was like, oh my gosh, you were just talking about this not too long ago. And you said you wanted to read it again. And it was like a little nudge. Like, I'm right here. I found it with my Poppy and Ari boutique business paperwork. And I'm like, how'd you get in there? Kara, I love that. Hey, AR, you changed your picture. Oh, that's Death Valley Tiger. That's a really good question. To gather more or delete? Maybe to understand it more too. Oh, you said that gather more of an understanding. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's nothing like work in there. I mean, when I went to school for criminal justice, he went to an awesome school. Kohlberger, he went to an outstanding school, like in Pennsylvania. I'm talking about. They had a whole house set up, a murder mock house for him. I went online, and it was extremely difficult because you're literally trying to teach yourself. My teachers were not very hands-on with the students, so you're trying to teach yourself and go at the same time. But they were having us put together like computers. I was putting together I had to learn how to put together a whole computer. I don't even know how I passed it. I still don't know how. I'm in awe because I couldn't put one together if you had it all sitting in front of me right now. But it was like all these little intricate pieces, and you had to do it like perfect. And it was all online. So it was even harder because you're using like a mouse. You're not even using your hands. It was terrible. It was a terrible way to learn. So with that being said, I think that I would have wanted some more hands-on experience if I would have stayed in that field. I would have definitely had to have I would have had to just went in head first to see if I liked it, I guess. Oh, me too. I'm terrible with technology. That's why I have Vincent. He's my IT man. He doesn't do like a whole lot behind this. Like he does a lot behind the scenes, I should say. He doesn't do like a whole lot on the channel, but he's always behind the scenes. And you guys, I walked into the other room. I got up and got a drink earlier, and he is almost completely done with the floor. Like, I'm in awe. I'm really excited. The 12 times prior, Sleuthy said, were all late night, early morning hours. Yeah, that's true. The night of the crime was in the late night, early morning hours. So him being there is routine. I'm wondering if he started doing those things like because he knew he was going to commit this crime. Like to have an alibi, to have that some sort of like, you know what I mean? To make it look like that. I don't know. I don't know if he's smart, if he's extra smart, or if he's extra dumb. I'm on the fence with the guy now. He's either got no common sense, which that could be true because people are book smart and they have no damn common sense, or he just, I don't know. I think he just messed up a little bit here and there, and I think that they got him. I think that, like the sheaf, I think that was just something that he didn't foresee. Yeah, BTK. We actually, I saw it was earlier. I saw a thing on Ted Bundy, and we did a show over. We've done a show actually over both of them. We've compared Ted Bundy and BK, and just for just to see, and then we have done BTK and BK because of the whole news coming out with them like saying there was a connection with them writing each other or something like that. I forget what it was, but I didn't really give it too much credence. So twice a month. Yeah, that's true. 12 times. I mean, I wonder like what would take you the town over twice a month? I wonder if it's like something like that's going to show up where it's the same time every time. If it's scheduled and he's there every time the same time, and I mean, you can say that you're at like an appointment, like say therapy twice a month. I go to counseling twice a month. I do it on the computer, which is awesome. But if I had to go in person, that'd be twice a month. Oh, Roku actually has a documentary with Brian Kohlberger about Brian Kohlberger in the Idaho 4. We put it on the channel forever ago, probably November, December. It was like maybe December, January. I think it was right before or right after they got Brian. Yeah, therapy. I just thought of it. I mean, like, I'm not trying to give Brian any, pointers, but I'm thinking logically here. That's the only thing I can think of. Twice a month, you go for therapy, and he does have visual snow, he says, and all that. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if he was like actually like they didn't say if he was just. They just said he was in the area 12 times. So I wonder if he stopped for an hour. I mean, if he could say that he was at an appointment those 12 times, that would help the 13th time. But then, where's your counselor at that late in the early morning hours? Maybe they're on call. Maybe he's got it like that. Hey, I used to have it like that with my doctors. I had my eye surgeon meet me in Dayton, Ohio, because it's closer to me than Columbus, and that's where she was at. And she was like, "Just come down to Dayton to the VA. I'm gonna pop your eye back in right now, like because I have a prosthetic." And she literally did it. She was like, and I was like, How do I pay you for this?" She's like, "Don't even worry about it, Tanya." She's like, "We got it back in." All ends in, it was after her surgery, so it meant the world to me that she did that. So maybe he had it like that. Call in the middle of the night. Oh, I don't know. It might have been 12 times during August. I'm not sure. He went to the Jack in the Box a lot. I wonder do they have vegan options? Well, I guess you can get French fries, but then it would still be in the same like oil as the chicken nuggets and stuff. He wouldn't like that. Like not like I know what he would or wouldn't like, but I feel like I do. Yeah, I wouldn't go there. Wouldn't go there either. I know. I don't sleep at night either. I feel like, but I always feel like something's around me that can check on me. That damn Google. I said something today. Didn't even have nothing to do with Google. She started playing music. I was like, "Are you drunk?" And it was good music though. So I was like, "Well, maybe you are," because she's usually not very good on her music game. So okay, you've heard about this Asian girl. Okay, do you guys remember? I don't know if anyone's going to remember this, and maybe that's the Asian girl I'm thinking of is the one that Sleuthy's talking about. But this was in the beginning. No, it was right after they arrested Brian Kohlberger. It was. Remember the girl? Oh my gosh, I forgot about her. Who was the girl that was in love with Brian Kohlberger? What was her name? Remember the girl that loved Brian Kohlberger, and she had the son that was like 16, and she was writing Brian Kohlberger. I can see her. I can't think of her name. But right around that same time, I thought there was an Asian girl that came out and she was like, "I love Brian Kohlberger too." And I was like, now there's an Asian girl saying it, because I said it like that because Vincent's Asian. I'm not trying to like poke fun at anybody that's Asian. Of course not. But I was just like, because I looked at him and I'm like, now as I look at this girl, there's an Asian girl that likes Brian Kohlberger. What's going on here? Because like, it was like they both popped up at the same time. But after I saw that article, I never heard about the Asian girl again. Brittany Hislop, Aussie. Thank you, Cheryl. Y'all got it. Brittany Hislop. Whatever happened to her? What's she doing? How do we find her? I don't even know how we found her the first time. What was she even on? I don't remember. Like, oh my gosh, she's got to have an account somewhere. I'm gonna have to look into that because it's been a while since we've heard about her. I wonder how she's doing in life. Does she have a man? Does her son hate her? I mean, I would. Oh, what's this? This was February 5th, 2023. Okay, who's this? It's like one of these SK pop magazines, but we're going to read it anyway. Let me see if I can present this to you guys really quick. Because it says modified. So let's see. Brittany Hislop, a 35-year-old woman from Kentucky, has taken to social media. Okay, this is the beginning. So where is the update? Let's see if the update's down here. Okay. That was a single mother of 16, yeah. Oh yeah, remember she had done this before? And the guy was like, pretty much told her to leave him alone. Like, look at that face. Wow. Let's see if we can find it. If anyone ever says that I can't be this word, the S word, attracted to my love interest, Brian, as well as genuinely care about his well-being at the same time, I know for a fact that they're wrong since I feel both of those things for him. And although I'm, attracted to him, I also wish I had a significant mutual bond that isn't just based on sex. Brittany, you done lost your mind. I thought this was going to be a new article. Let's see. I think this is still yeah. They must have just updated the bottom of it, but they didn't update her. Now I wonder if they're still talking, or if he's written her back. Can you imagine being her 16-year-old son? Remember when this happened, guys? And I was like, oh my God, her son. I felt so bad for her kid because he's a teenager and oh my God. Can you imagine being 16-year-old kid and your mom is writing a suspected quadruple murderer in jail? I mean, there's no way around that. He's still suspected of this. That girl didn't even know a fact from fiction. Oh my God. Sleuthy secondhand embarrassment. I was just talking about that earlier today. I said, Vincent, when someone makes a joke and it falls flat, I was like, and you just have that secondhand embarrassment. I was like, that's how I feel. I feel that about some people. But it's hardcore. It's so bad. Man. But look at him. They have made him look a little better, Kohlberger. They're doing something. They're working him. Look at this picture of him here. They're doing something to the brows and the hair. They cut the hair for sure. But my money is on they're doing something with those brows. Yes, kids are so ruthless. Exactly. That's what I mean, Ashley. I could not imagine being 16. Man. Oh, I bet Riddler. I hope that everyone knows who his mom is, so everyone knows who he is. He can't hide. I mean, I'm sure mom's already been to a sporting event or something. I always wondered that too, if there was cameras in the house. Because I have cameras. I mean, a lot of people do. That's true, maybe. But he didn't really, he didn't look like he was coming off of anything though. Whenever we saw him, any part of you think he was? You think he was active addiction? I don't think he was. But Ashley, you may know. I'm more than me. I don't know. We may know about the same. Because to me, he didn't seem like he was sweaty, clammy, agitated. Any of the I'm coming off of drugs, I just don't see it. I didn't see any of that. I saw him as cool, calm, and collected in court. When he walked down that hallway for the first time, if I was coming off of a drug, you wouldn't have been able to get me to walk, let alone walk with conviction and have my shoulders back. You think he was still using C? I don't think he was. I don't know why. I feel like if he quit something, he quit it. He was big. He was a big kid, got small, stayed small. If you can, I don't know. I feel like if you can be, really, they do? Idaho does? Oh, sleuthy. Then he's cool. He's cool, calm, and collected. He's cool as a cucumber if he's got Suboxone in jail. They don't give you that in Ohio. Heck no. In Ohio, they'd say, you don't even get a Tylenol. Got a headache. Sorry. I don't have fresh out of Advil, fresh out of aspirin. They're not Advil, whatever they give you. Aspirin. He does look thicker and healthier now. He does. That is true, Ashley. I just thought it was, I don't know. Just thought he looked like Kohlberger. Now he does look like he has more skin color. I will say that. He does look a lot better now. I will give him that too. And that's why I was wondering if it was the suit or if it was them cutting the hair, because when they cut his hair, it makes it look curlier now when they wet it. They're making him look more boyish, I think. I feel like. And that's what most lawyers will do. They want you to look more innocent. Arlene Wright in PA, she said, too bad, so sad. My dad used to say that all the time, and you're in PA, and just like, Arlene, we would, if we were on the phone with each other, I know that my Pennsylvania, my accent would be coming out. You'd hear the Philadelphian in me. It's so funny. Too bad, so sad. My dad used to say that to me all the time, actually. As a joke, he thought it was funny. He does. He looks like he does look like he wants to, he's there and he's ready to win. Now, will he? We'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping, let's just hope that this all, that the prosecution, they get their way and they get that trial date in the summer of 2024. That'd be nice. But I'm going to jump off here. But jail does weird things to people. It makes some people actually look better or not that bad. Like you'll see them in 20 years, behind bars, and they look like they did the day they went in. Scott Peterson, for instance. I mean, the dude doesn't look like he's aged to me. I mean, a little, yeah, gray hair and stuff, but looks like if he was standing in front of me, I would know exactly who he was. And I'd be like, oh my Lord. Do you know what I mean? Like he doesn't look like prison's done anything to him. But I'm going to jump off here. You guys all have a Merry Christmas Eve. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I'll be on. We'll either do like an Idaho live or Christmas live or Chelsea Graham. We'll do something. Probably just do like a Christmas kind of. Let's just talk and hang out for Christmas for a little bit. I may come on a little bit earlier, like maybe during the day. We'll see how what kind of noise he's making in the house since we're renovating. And I had no clue. Like I thought we were behind, and I didn't think that Vincent was going to have this floor laid until like tomorrow night or the next night or maybe this week. But it looks like he's almost done except for the closet. Like he's worked his butt off. Like that's my Christmas present, he said. He's like, you get a new studio and I'm going to get you a new office and I'm getting a couch and I'm getting a dining table. And I said, well, I didn't ask for that. And he's like, well, that's your Christmas. It's expensive. And I said, well, okay, then I'll take it. No one's arguing. Oh my gosh, the British are coming. Letitia Stout. Can we get her lawyers? Can we get her defense attorneys? Just anybody but Dorothy. I can't do Dorothy again. I'll never do Dorothy again. I said if she's a defense expert for Brian Kohlberger, you will see me muted. I'll have her muted the whole time. You guys can listen all you want. But that woman should have retired 500 years ago. It was entertaining though. But thank you guys all for being here tonight. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on your way out and hit the like button. I do appreciate it. And it does help the channel grow. Have a Merry Christmas, guys. And I hope you guys all spend some time with your family tomorrow. And I hope Santa brings you everything you want. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow night. Bye, guys.